Hello viewers, how are you? Welcome to my channel Physics with Rams. So today we are going to solve numericals based on the vectors. So here my humble request for everyone is that please watch my previous videos based on vectors. Why? Because without concepts we cannot solve the problem. Now we are going to solve the first numerical. Observe that here in this problem he had given that the sum of magnitudes of two forces acting at a point is 60 Newton. So here sum of the two forces acting at this point is 16 Newton. Based on that we can write it as F1 plus F2 equals to 16 Newton. And here if their resultant is normal, if the resultant is normal to the smaller force and has a magnitude of 8 newtons. Based on that we can represent that the resultant is having a magnitude of 8 newtons. Then the forces are, now we have to represent the magnitude of F1 and F2 based on these equations. So here he had given that resultant is normal to the smaller force. Observe that resultant force is normal to F1. Based on that we can say that F1 is less than F2. Force F1 is less than F2. So here based on these conditions now we have to find the values of F1 and F2. So in order to find this, observe that F2 makes an angle of theta with a vertical axis. As you observe that this F2 can resolve into components as F2 cos theta and F2 sin theta. F2 has been resolved into components based on the angle theta. So here as you observe that here F1, if we can take this force and we can place it at this position, based on that we can say that F2 sin theta is equals to F1, force F1. Magnitudes are same, we are not representing the direction, we are just considering the magnitude. Since they are along the horizontal axis, we can represent that F2 sin theta is equals to F1. So here as you observe that F2 cos theta, F2 cos theta equals to F, where we know the value of F, where F equals to 8 newtons. We have to square these equations and add them. So let us square these two equations. On squaring this equation, here we get a F2 square sin square theta is equals to F1 square. And on squaring this equation, here we get a F2 square cos square theta is equals to 8 square 64. Now we have to add these two equations. On adding these two equations, here we get a F2 square sin square theta plus F2 square cos square theta equals to F1 square plus 64. So here observe that we can take F2 square as common. If we take F2 square as common, we have sin square theta plus cos square theta, and we know the value of sin square theta plus cos square theta as 1. Then we have F2 square equals to F1 square plus 64. From this equation here we can write, take this F1 square towards this side, then we have F2 square minus F1 square equals to 64. Now observe that this equation is in the form of a square minus b square. So we can split it in the form of a minus b into a plus b. So if we split this equation, here we have F2 minus F1 into F1 plus F2 is equals to 64. 64. So now we have to divide this equation with this equation. If we divide these two equations, here we get F2 minus F1 into F1 plus F by F1 plus F2 is equals to 64 by 16. So here F1 plus F2 gets cancelled, and we know that 16 fours are 64. So from this equation here we have F2 minus F1 equals to 4. So now from this equation we can write F2 equals to 4 plus F1. If we substitute this value in this equation, here we get F2 F1 plus in the place of F2 we can substitute 4 plus F1 is equals to 16. Observe that F1 plus F1, 2 F1 2f1 plus 4 is equals to 16. So from this equation here we have 2f1 equals to 16 minus 4, which is equals to 12. So from this equation here we have 12 by 2. 12 by 2 is nothing but 6 Newton. We get a 6 Newton. Now let's substitute the value of f1 in this equation. If we substitute here, we get a f2. f2 equals to 4 plus f1. The value of f1 is 6. So and we know that 4 plus 6 equals to 10 Newton. So here we got f1 equals to 6 Newton and f2 equals to 10 Newton. So these are the magnitudes of two forces. Take a screenshot. We'll continue with the next problem. The next problem is, if speed of water flow is 40 km per hour and the speed of boat is 30 km per hour and perpendicular to the flow of water. The speed of boat is perpendicular to the flow of water. Now we have to find the resultant speed of boat as well as the direction of the boat. So in order to find this, here observe that as the boat is traveling perpendicular to the flow of water, it cannot travel perpendicularly, it changes its path. So here V suffix R represents the speed of the boat, in which it is moving based on this speed as well as this speed. So here we are going to apply the resultant speed based on Pythagoras theorem. According to Pythagoras theorem, we know that hypotenuse square equals to opposite side square plus adjacent side square. So based on this, here observe that speed, hypotenuse is being represented by resultant speed. Then we can write it as V suffix R square equals to opposite side plus adjacent side square. So from this, here we can write it as resultant speed square equals to speed of the boat square plus speed of the water square. So now based on that, here we have to find the resultant speed, where resultant speed is equals to under root of speed of the boat square, speed of water square, where here observe that speed of the boat is 30 km per hour. Based on that, we can write it as 30 square plus speed of water is 40 square. From this, here we know that 30 square is nothing but 900 plus 40 square is 1600. 1600 plus 900, which is equals to 2500, and under root of 2500 is 50. So the resultant speed of a boat is, with respect to water, is 50 kmph. Now we have to represent the direction, where the direction is given by tan theta. Tan theta equals to opposite side, nothing but speed of the boat by speed of water, adjacent side. Then here the speed of the boat is 30 kmph by speed of water is 40 kmph. Then here we get a tan theta is equals to 3 by 4. Based on that, we can write it as theta equals to tan inverse of 3 by 4. It represents the direction of the boat. Take a screenshot. We will continue. And the next problem is, we have to find the resultant of the vectors shown in the figure. Here we had a figure based on x and y axis, and we have three vectors A, B and C. Here observe that vector A is passing by an angle of 37 degrees with respect to x and y axis, whereas B vector is along the x axis, and C vector is passing along the y axis. Based on these three vectors, now we have to find the resultant vector of all these three vectors. So in order to find this, here observe that the magnitude of A is 5 cm and magnitude of B is 3 cm and magnitude of C is 4 cm. So in order to find this, here let us consider the resultant. Resultant R equals to, as you observe the vector A, it has been resolved into components as here A cos theta and a sin theta, a cos theta and a sin theta. So based on that, here we can write it as a cos theta, where a cos theta is along the x-axis, so we represent it with a unit vector I cap, and a sin theta is along the y-axis, so here we represent it with a j cap, a sin theta into j cap. Now the b vector is along the x-axis, so we write it as b into I cap, and the c vector, observe that it is acting along y-axis, so we represent it with c into j cap. Now we have to substitute the values of a, b, c as well as theta. As you substitute these values, the resultant vector is being derived. Here observe that a equals to 5 into angle is 37 cos 37 into I cap plus a sin 37. A is nothing but 5 into sin 37 into j cap plus the value of b is 3 into I cap plus the value of c is 4 j cap. And here we know that cos 37 is equals to 4 by 5 and sin 37 is equals to 3 by 5. So if you substitute these values, here we have 5 into cos 37 is 4 by 5 into I cap plus 5 into sin 37 is 3 by 5 into j cap plus 3 I cap plus 4 j cap. So now here 5 and 5 gets cancelled, and here also 5 and 5 gets cancelled. So here we have 4 I cap plus 3 j cap plus 3 I cap plus 4 j cap. So observe that as we add the same type of unit vectors, here we get a 7 I cap plus 7 j cap. So this is the resultant vector for these three vectors. Whereas we have to represent the direction, whereas the direction is given as a tan alpha equals to magnitude of the vector along the y-axis by magnitude of the vector along the x-axis. So from this here we can write it as a tan alpha equals to 7 by 7. 7 and 7 gets cancelled, we get 1. And here we know that we get 1 for tan when it is equals to 45 degrees. So based on that, the resultant makes an angle of 45 degrees with respect to x and y axis. Take a screenshot. We will continue with the next problem. And the next problem is, if the resultant of three vectors is 0, then find the magnitude of b bar and c bar from the given diagram. So here observe that the vector A is acting along this direction, and the vector B is acting along this direction, and vector C is moving along a x and y axis by an angle of 45 degrees. So here, since vector C makes an angle of 45 degrees, it resolves into two components as C cos 45 and C sin 45. Now we have to write the components of the vectors. Let us write the x component of these vectors. Observe that the vector A along the x-axis. Since the vector is acting, A is acting along the y-axis, the component of vector along the x-axis is 0. Whereas the vector B along the x-axis is given as B. Component of vector along the x-axis is minus. It is acting along the negative x-axis, minus C cos 45. So here we know the value of cos 45 as 1 by root 2. Then we can write it as a C by root 2. C by root 2. And here the resultant magnitude of the x component is given as R suffix x. R suffix x equals to A suffix x plus B suffix x plus C suffix x. Observe that the value of A suffix x is 0, B suffix x is B, and the C suffix x is minus C by root 2. Here observe that the resultant is 0, so we can substitute the R suffix x equals to 0. Then based on that we can write it as B equals to C by root 2. Now we have to write the y components of the given resultant vectors. The y components are given as, observe that the component of vector A along the y axis is a suffix y equals to minus 5. Why? Because it is acting along the negative y-axis, and y component of vector b is 0. Why? Because it is along the x-axis, and here the component of vector c along the y-axis is c sine 45. And here we know that sine 45 is nothing but 1 by root 2. So we can write it as c by root 2. Then the resultant is given as r suffix y equals to a suffix y plus b suffix y plus c suffix y, which equals to minus 5 plus 0 plus c by root 2. And here we know that the resultant is 0. So if we substitute this value, here we have minus 5 plus c by root 2. From this equation we can write it as c equals to 5 root 2. C equals to 5 root 2. If we substitute this value in this equation, here we have 5 root 2 by root 2. Root 2 and root 2 gets cancelled. We get b equals to 5. So these are the magnitudes of b and c. Take a screenshot. We will continue with the next problem. The next problem is if 2i minus 3j plus 4k and 3i plus lambda j plus mu k be collinear vectors, then find the values of lambda and mu. We have to find the value of lambda and mu. And here he had given that the two vectors are collinear. And here we know that when two vectors are collinear, we can represent that the cross product of two vectors is equals to 0. So let us consider this vector as a bar. So based on that, here we can write it as a bar equals to 2i cap minus 3j cap plus 4k cap, and b bar equals to 3i cap plus lambda j cap plus mu k cap. So now we have to find the cross product of these two vectors. The cross product is given as a bar cross b bar equals to I j k. The first vector is 2 minus 3 4, and the second vector is 3 lambda and mu. Now from this I observe this row remains constant and this column remains constant. Based on that we can write it as minus 3 mu minus 3 mu minus 4 lambda minus j into this row remains constant and this column remains constant. So here we have 2 mu and 4 3s are 12, and next we have to represent k for this 2 lambda, 2 into lambda, 3 into minus 3, nothing but minus 9, minus of minus plus 9. And here observe that the cross product of a and b is equals to 0. So this resultant is equals to 0. So here we can split this 0 into components as 0 into I cap, 0 into j cap plus 0 into k cap. So here as we equate the unit vectors on both sides, then we can write it as, let us consider the j vector. Then here we have 2 mu minus 12 is equals to 0. So from this here we have 2 mu is equals to 12. That implies mu is equals to 12 by 2, nothing but 6. So here we get mu equals to 6. Now we have to find the lambda. So in order to find this lambda, consider this equation, unit vector k. From this here we have 2 lambda plus 9 is equals to 0. Then we have 2 lambda equals to minus 9. Then lambda equals to minus 9 by 2. So these are the values of mu and lambda. Take a screenshot. We will continue with the next problem. And the next problem is if the angle between two vectors of same magnitude is theta. So here he had given two vectors and the angle between these two vectors is theta. Now here where the magnitude of A and B is equals to root 3, then find the angle between the two vectors if resultant is equals to magnitude of any vector. Suppose if we consider the resultant as r, then the resultant magnitude is equals to magnitude of the vectors. So based on that we can write it as r equals to a equals to b equals to root 3. The magnitude is same for resultant as well as the two vectors. Now we have to find the angle between these two vectors. I have to find the angle between two vectors a bar and b bar. So in order to find this angle, we consider the magnitude equation, and we know that resultant equals to under root of a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. And here we know that the value of r is root 3 equals to, and the value of a is root 3 whole square plus b is root 3 whole square plus 2 into root 3 into cos theta. Here observe that root 3 equals to under root of root 3 square 3 plus root 3 square is 3 plus 2 into root 3 nothing but 3. 2 into 3 is 6 cos theta. Now square this equation on both sides. Root to root gets cancelled. So we have 3 is equals to 3 plus 6 cos theta. And here observe that 3 and 3 gets cancelled. Then here we have 3 plus 6 cos theta is equals to 0. Then here we have 6 cos theta equals to minus 3. Then cos theta is equals to minus 3 by 6. So here we know that it is equals to 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2. And here we know that we get minus 1 by 2 for cos at an angle of 120 degrees. So based on that we can say that the angle between the two vectors is 120. Take a screenshot. We will continue with the next problem. The next problem is, what is the torque of force? What is the torque of a force? F equals to 2I minus 3J plus 4K Newton acting at a point R bar equals to 3I plus 2J plus 3K meter about origin. So based on this force and position, we have to represent the torque. And here we know that a torque is given as a tau equals to R cross F. Tau equals to R cross F. So now we have to find the cross product of position and force. Then the torque equals to R bar cross F bar equals to I J K. Position is 3, 2, 3, 2, minus 3 and 4. So now here then the vector is given as I into 4 2s are 8, 3 into 3 9 minus of minus plus 9 minus j into 4 3s are 12, 2 3s are 6 minus 6 plus k into 3 into 3 minus 9, 2 into 2 minus 4. So here observe that 8 plus 9 is 17I cap minus 12 minus 6 nothing but minus 6j cap minus 9 minus 4 is minus 13k cap. It represents the torque acting on the at a point based on this force. Take a screenshot. We will continue. The next problem is the diagonals of a parallelogram are d1 bar equals to 2i minus 3j plus k and d2 bar equals to minus 2i plus 4j minus k. What is the area of the parallelogram? So here if we consider a parallelogram, the parallelogram is given based on the diagonals. Whereas here let us consider it as a d1 bar and consider it as a d2 bar. Now based on these diagonals, now we have to represent the area of the parallelogram. Where area of the parallelogram in terms of diagonals, in terms of diagonals is 1 by 2 into mod of d1 bar cross d2 bar. So now first of all we have to find the value of d1 bar cross d2 bar. So in order to find this, the cross product is given as d1 bar cross d2 bar equals to I j k. The first vector is 2 minus 3 1 and minus 2 4 minus 1. So here the resultant vector is given as I into minus 3 into minus 1, nothing but 3, 1 into 4 minus 4, and next j into minus j into 2 into minus 1 minus 2, 1 into minus 2, minus of minus plus 2. So here next k into 2 into 4 8, minus 3 into minus 2 plus 6 plus into minus 6. So now based on that, here we can write it as 3 minus 4 is minus 1 into I cap minus 2 plus 2 0. So minus j cap into 0 plus k cap into 8 minus 6 is 2. So here the resultant vector is given as minus I cap plus 2 k cap. So now based on that, we have to find the magnitude of this cross product. The magnitude of this cross product is mod of d1 bar cross d2 bar is equals to under root of, the magnitude of I is 1 minus 1 square plus 2 square. So here we get 1 plus 2 square is 4, so we get root 5. Then area of parallelogram is equals to 1 by 2 into mod of d1 cross d2. So 1 by 2 into d1 bar cross d2 bar is equals to root 5 by 2 units. Root 5 by 2 units. So this is the area of this parallelogram based on the diagonals. So take a screenshot. Please subscribe my channel. Don't forget to share this video to your friends and give a like to my video. Thank you.